Hello there. Can you see my screen? Let me make this a little bit bolder. So what you're seeing here is the offer letter for the Irish Government Fellows Program, won by a subscriber from this channel last year. So you can see the date here and you can see the name of one of the fellowships available. And as you can see, by the Irish government, and this person won a fully funded master's in, I think, law and human rights. So I'm just showing you this to show how possible it is. And this person actually has generously shared his application package with me. That's the documents and the essays. I'll be talking about those as well. So the Irish Fellows Program or the Ireland Fellows Program is open. I'll be talking about it today. So in case you want me to water your appetite on why to apply, so this scholarship is a full package. It covers your academic fees, as you can see here. It covers your visa application fees, covers your medical and travel insurance, covers your economy flights to and fro Ireland, covers your residence permit, and then you get a settlement allowance, you get a departure allowance, you also get living stipend of 700 euros per month, you get assistance with accommodation, you also get like a training program as well, and your English test, your English language test is also paid for, so you wouldn't have to pay anything. So this is a full package. It can hardly get better than this. Everything is covered from A to Z. So this is what we'll be talking about today, the Ireland Fellows Program. So in case you're new to my channel, you're welcome. But where have you been? There are lots of videos already on this channel on scholarships from around the world. So look around. I'm sure you'll find something that catches your interest. And if you're a returning viewer, a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. Thanks for the constant support. And I hope you get a scholarship sooner than later. So subscribe quickly if you've not done that, because even many more juicy opportunities are coming your way. So before we proceed, I would like to show you this video I did last year on this scholarship. As I told you, somebody last year from this channel won the award, and he shared his document with me. So I did a very lengthy, not very lengthy, about 20 minutes video last year on how to apply for the scholarship, very detailed, the different processes, the different tricks and tips. So I think you should take a look at the video I did last year, because I might not go into lots of details in this one. So I'll be leaving a link to the one I did last year as well in the description box. So after you watch this one, which is the general introduction, go to that one and you get lots of even more details on how to apply, including tips from the scholar who won the award last year. So let's proceed. Let's go to the scholarship page. So this is the scholarship page, and then we're going to the tab for applicants. For the Ireland Fellows Program, there are several scholarships under this broad umbrella. So you have the Fellows Program for Africa, you have for Asia, you have this one for human rights and for those, just for those from Nigeria, another one for just from those from Burundi. There is one for those from Zambia only, those from South Africa, those from Latin America, and these are the countries eligible, those from Namibia, those from the Caribbean islands. You can see the different countries here. And there's actually a PhD. This is quite new. It wasn't there last year, for those from Vietnam. So there are different sub-scholarships under the Fellows Program. So we'll be looking at probably the one from Africa and then maybe one other one. So, and these are the eligible countries from the African continent. It's not a very lengthy list, I would say, because you have like 54 countries on the continent, but these are the countries that are eligible. So these different scholarships under the Fellows Program have similar application requirements and procedures, but there might be small differences here and there. So pay attention to the differences. If you're a Nigerian, for instance, you might want to apply for this one, the Irish or the Ireland Fellows Program Africa. But you can also apply for this one as well, which is the casement fellows in human rights, fellowship in human rights. So in case you're doing something on like law and human rights, this would be more appropriate if you ask me. But if you're doing other things like the other fields listed here, like agriculture, health, education, human rights, and the rest of them, I think this one is better. And I think you can do both, if I'm not mistaken. But read the instruction that you can do this one and any of the other one that you qualify, any of the other ones that you qualify for, except the instruction says otherwise, of course. So let's use this one for an example. The Ireland Fellows Program Africa. Lots of instructions or information about the background of the scholarship and prominently about the SDGs. So this is already a clue that if you're writing an essay for this scholarship, the SDGs should feature prominently in your essay. So it's about global sustainable development and how you connect your course of interest, your area of interest to the global sustainable development goals. So these are the countries eligible if you're from the African continent, and these are the different fields. You can see agriculture, health, education, human rights, computer science, engineering, business, and more. So there's a directory here. You can open this on the different eligible courses and universities. It's a very long list here. And what this directory also does is to like explain the course, explain the university, explain the benefits, what you learn, and the admissions requirements. So they've done everything for you through and through. But you do not need to apply to the university directly. So they'll be going to the application procedure. You just have to select 3 universities that you intend to go to, but prioritize them. Number 1 will be your most preferred, number 2, second most preferred, and your third most preferred. But you're not applying to them yet. You just want to have them in mind. So these are the different participating universities. And if you scroll down, you get the different courses in different fields like engineering, like in agriculture, climate change, and the rest of them, computer science. So you select 3, usually from 3 different universities, and prioritize them. Do not apply to them. Just have them in mind. You'll be putting them in the application for the scholarship. It is when you're selected for the scholarship, then you'll be invited to apply to one of your chosen universities. So remember, you're not applying to any university yet. This is very important. You're just applying for the scholarship. When you scale through the scholarship process, then you're invited to apply for admissions. So let's go back to this page. Of course, there are lots of things you can read here on your own, but there are some basic information I want you to know. For this scholarship, the African Fellowship, you need 2 to 3 years of work experience. So this is important. You can also check for the other sub-scholarships if they have similar requirements. And you also need a 2-1, that's a second class upper, usually. Second class upper division. You can try for a second class lower because here it just says a second class. But it says a 3 over 4. So a 3 over 4 will be a 2-1, I think. It'll be a 2-1. If you have a second class lower, try your luck, but I think they'll prefer a student with at least a second class upper. Other bits of information there, and do not worry about the English language requirements yet. They would assist you in the second. I'll show you the stages subsequently. In the second stage of the scholarship, they will assist you, give you a voucher to register for the English language test, either the Duolingo test or the IELTS. So let's move forward. Another bit of information I think you want to see here is that for some countries, you have to be nominated or invited only to before you can submit an application. What does it mean? What does this mean? It means if you're from any of these countries on this list, you have to be invited. You cannot just apply for it. You have to be invited. And they said the criteria to be invited or what qualifies you to apply is that you are either a civil servant, that's the staff of the government, or working with an NGO with a partnership with Irish Aid, or working like a private organization with goals that are aligned with the Irish Aid development strategy. I think you can take advantage of the third one. You can be working for like a media house or for like even a personal business, but you can always connect what you're doing to the Ireland developmental strategy in your country. So what you can do is, if you're not sure whether you're qualified or not, if where you work is aligned with their strategic interest or not, you can send them an email. So there is a link here to their relevant embassies and their emails. When you click on this link, it shows you the list of countries. Like I'm Nigerian, for instance, and I'm not sure. Let's say I'm not sure whether I qualify to apply or not. Can always, I don't think Nigeria is on the list, by the way. Let's look for a country that is on the list. Let's say Rwanda. So people from Rwanda must first get fulfill either one of these criteria before they can apply. So let's say I'm not sure I'm from Rwanda. What do I do? So I'll look for Rwanda on the list and then click on Rwanda here. And when I do that, I get the email address. Usually the email address of the embassy pops up. So here, this is the email address of the embassy in charge of Rwanda, although it shows Uganda here. So I guess Uganda, Rwanda have the same Irish embassy. So you send them, you describe what you do to them and ask whether you're in sync with the Irish strategy, Irish government strategy in your country. And I must say that this requirement might not be necessary for the other subcategories. So we're looking at this one, the Ireland Fellows Program Africa. For the other ones, it might not be compulsory, but check on your own and see whether you would need to confirm or not. So having said that, let's move on. There are 3 stages to this interview. There's the first stage, you fill a form. When you pass to the first stage, you're called for the second stage. Usually you're also assisted to write like a English test, like a Duolingo English test. They give you a voucher and you're able to do it, so you do not pay your own money. And then you're told to write an essay. You pass through that stage and then you're called for the interview. You pass the interview stage, that is good. Then you're invited to apply to one of those 3 universities that you chose. So let's look at the main documents. Let's say I meet all the eligibility requirements. Then show documents. So the first one, we've checked this document already, is the directory we saw earlier. The directory where you have the different universities and the different courses. So you're meant to peruse through this and select 3 major courses from different universities that best align with your area of interest and future goals. So there's another document here about how to actually apply. So this is like the document we looked at earlier. Lots of information about the background of the scholarship and every other thing. But let's go straight into what it covers. I've talked to you about this already. Where did we even start from? Yes, this is it. The food tuition, visa fees, medical fees, medical insurance, economy flights, residence permit, and the rest of them. Now you also have the settlement allowance, you have the completion allowance, you have the living stipend, the monthly stipend, you have assistance with your accommodation. So everything is covered through and through, and that is great. Let's move on. So how do you apply? Which other thing do you need to do? Lots of information here, but we will be summarizing the different information. Let's go to the different stages. So as I told you, different stages, these are the different stages. This scholarship opened on the 1st. You probably get this video on the 2nd, so we're quite early. And the deadline is on the 28th of July. So you want to hurry, it's just less than a month, the window. There's an application form here I think you want to fill, and it's just the first stage. They just ask you basic questions about yourself. I think I've opened the form here. Basic questions about yourself. This is the eligibility criteria. Questions about yourself. And then where did you study? You can leave this blank if you have no English language test yet, because remember, they would help you write an English language test if you do not have one. So just leave it blank, that none yet, that's fine. Work experience, remember you need at least 2 years of solid work experience. 2 to 3 depending on the country, so check for your country. Then remember the 3 different universities you have to write here. I showed you the directory where you can pick different universities and 3 different courses. So write the name of the course, write the name of the university, and then the course code. Let's see if we can get the course code from you. I think this should be the course code. I think this small, this letter, the 3-letter word you see in front of them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if make sure I'm not mistaken. Let's go to the beginning of the page. Okay. So I think it's either this one, the A1, or the UCC. You can always find that out yourself and see which is which. Is it the A1 or the one at the back of the? It's probably the one. It's probably the A1 because some courses have the same. I think this is like the abbreviation of the university or the abbreviation of the course. You can see MU here, MU here, but no 2 courses have the same letter and number. So I think it's this one, A1, A2. I think that's the one you should be looking out for. But do your research, I think. Yeah. Clarify that on your own. With small research, I think you can find that out. Then there's an essay about how would the specific program of study in Ireland which you have chosen assist you in your career aspirations? This question, I answered it in the previous video I did last year, so I think you should go and watch that. Give details, give example, use the essay of that guy who won it last year to clarify the example. So all these questions, I've attempted them already, so do not worry, do not panic. I will not do that here, so the video doesn't last forever. Oh, I've done it already, so consult the other video. The second question, how would the program of study in Ireland help you work towards achieving your country's national SDG goals? We've also answered that there. And then how would you propose to contribute to links between your country and Ireland? We've also done that, so consult that video. The video is this one. I'm talking about this video. This one here. It's playing an ad at the moment. Let me skip the ad. So this is the video I'm talking about. This is the video I'm talking about. So consult the video and you'll be fine. I will leave a link in the description box. So where were we? So you do that, and then you'll be invited to do the Duolingo test. And if you pass all the first stage, then you're invited to the second stage. And the dates are also given. So do not worry about, oh, they've not contacted me yet. Am I being left out? Just check the date and see whether you're still within the dates. So if by the 23rd of September, no one has told you anything, I think you should start getting panicky, especially when it starts exceeding the 18th of October, then you know probably they've selected people in the second stage already. So there are some essays you have to write in the second stage. It's also in that video, so consult. And then the third stage is where you have the interview. For a number of these stages, you need your degree certificate, you need like your passport or your national ID, you need academic transcript. Whether in the first stage or the second stage or the third stage, I think you need these documents handy in all these stages, so you should have them. Passport or national identity card, your degree certificate, and then your academic transcripts. I hope that is clear. Then, after filling the form, by the way, the form that we've looked at after writing the essays, and keep to the word count, don't exceed the word count. After doing that, you send this in the right format. I think they said in a Word document or PDF document, rightly named. So copy is rightly named. So your name, and then like my name is Victor Agboga, right? Victor Agboga passport, Victor Agboga undergrad transcript, Victor Agboga, what is it called? Academic transcript and the rest of them. Undergrad certificate, Victor Agboga application form, and then send to this relevant email addresses depending on the country you're based. Since I'm Nigerian, I'll be sending it to this one, this Casement Fellowship Nigerian email address. I hope that is clear. So this document contains all the information you need. So just sit down and digest the information. Like work experience, for instance. I think people from these countries should have a minimum of 2 years, while these other ones should have 3 years. So when you read the document in details, you get more gist about the scholarship. So that is it. But before we go, remember there are other categories of scholarship. We only looked at the first one. So quickly, let's just look at the second. This one still pertaining to Nigerians, but for those interested in human rights, law, and governance. This is actually the one that the guy from this channel won last year. Let's just confirm from his award letter. This is the Casement Fellowship. So let's go there to the Casement Fellowship. The instructions are quite the same. This is just for Nigeria, remember, just for those from Nigeria interested in law, human rights, governance. Similar applications requirements, similar to one and the rest of them. And then you can go back here, can get the documents to apply for this one in particular. So it means the document for the one we saw earlier might be different from the document for this one, in case you're interested in the Casement program. I think someone sent me a message recently about looking for a master's in law, and that's the LLM. I think this one will just be a very good fit for you if you're looking for a master's in law. The LLM is a perfect degree for this, especially if you're interested in human rights issues. This will be a perfect one for it. So just go through the documents as well, very similar to what we've seen already. We don't need to go through them again. And of course, if you're from other countries, check if your country is on the list of eligible countries, whether you're from the African continent or beyond, Asia, the Caribbean, and the rest of them. And that's it, guys. I hope this was useful. Fully funded masters, or if you're from Vietnam, even PhD in Ireland, covering everything: academic fees, visa fees, medical insurance, travel insurance, flights, you get settlement allowance, you get monthly stipend, you get accommodation allowance, everything. Even your English language test is covered. So they've covered you through and through. All you just need to do at the end of the day, after screening through the entire process, is just to show up at the airport with your bag and, of course, with your brain to come and study. And I hope that will be your story by the time the application process is concluded. So as usual, guys, we cannot wait to celebrate you. So get to work, start working. You have less than a month to put an application together. And I wish you all the best. Do not forget to watch the video I did last year. A little bit more detailed, a little bit more information on how to write the essays, a little bit more information on the processes and the stages as well. So watch that one as well. And I will see you at the top sooner than later. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.